If you look at the bulk of the season, I mean, you've learned a lot about yourself, you've improved time trials, you've obviously had your best ever Grand Tour performance. So, how does that position you going into 2014? You must be very motivated for what could be ahead in this year to come.
Yeah, but I've always been motivated. Cycling is my big passion, and it's actually sometimes been a problem to be always motivated because sometimes I just can't pace myself. I'm always overexcited, and then overexcitement costs you a lot of energy. I love what I do, and cycling is my life. I give everything to cycling, and this year is no different. 2 weeks ago, I was feeling bitter about cycling. I was like, all right, I don't want to see my bike tomorrow after Lombardy. And 4 days later, I was like, oh, still another week or 10 days to go before I can go back on it. And it's a great excuse actually to have those rides here back in Ireland, because it's like, all right, let's go and do an hour or two and get a bit of air. And I just can't wait to get back and think about 2014 now.
What will you do differently in this winter, this build up to the season?
Probably, I won't start all the kind of intensive work as hard as I did last year. I think that was one of the reasons why I kind of peaked in January, unfortunately. Like I said, I tried all these new exercises, and obviously they worked pretty well, but I think, I realized that and it's something you learn when you're a kid. You have to build a base before you do all your specific work, or that kind of house falls down, and they give you all the thing, and it's like something you learn in when you're a schoolboy. And I think last year I like I said, I got a bit too overexcited, and I was like, all right, I was feeling good after a couple of weeks on the bike, and I was already kind of pushing, thinking I was gonna be one of the top guys at the start of the year with Paris and whatever race that was coming up.
So just do it a little more calmly. But I presume, will Paris still be a target for you?
I have no idea. I haven't thought about 2014. Just at the Worlds, I had a chat with the guys from the team for next year. And I was like, Nico, finish 2013, have a break, and we talk about it in November when we see each other in the training camp. So it's like, okay, fair enough.
Obviously, for an Irish rider next year, the Giro d'Italia starting in Ireland is a big moment. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, it's great. I think there's a great buzz at the moment over the last few years in kind of Ireland and the UK, or the Anglophone world globally, and at any level, like from the cycle to work scheme to the now would even have go to school on the bike. And I just met someone this morning who was explaining to me now that she's a teacher who's trying to get the kids to go more and more to school on their bikes. So I mean, at every level, there's a big buzz about cycling, with the environment, with the eco-friendly, with any excuse you find more economic as well in crisis time. And there's a lot of stuff that's gone around the bike. A lot of Anglophone riders getting the top results, and the media, and it's like the yeah, but no, I'm talking about the Giro. It's like the top end of the everything that's coming up together, and it's like, oh, finally now we've got Tour de France starting in the UK, and then the Giro starting in Ireland. So it's just like, it goes with the flow at the moment. Kind of the Anglophone cycling is probably at its peak or peaking, and it's great to be able to have those two massive events to crown it up, to sum it up.
What are your chances of doing the race?
It's a 50-50. It's a yes or no. So at the moment, like I said, when I tried to bring it up, it was like, yeah, Nico, let's wait for the presentation. So the presentation's been done now, so we know the course. Gonna have a bit of a think about it, and it would be great for me to ride it. I haven't ridden a Giro since 2007. So it'd be good to come back in the Giro, and also especially doing it this year on homeland.
And with Team Saxo Tinkoff, it'll be called next year, being a strong team time trial squad. I mean, in theory, there is a chance that you could take the jersey in Belfast.
Yeah, like I said, to go back to that little piece of dream, it would be phenomenal. And the team has shown this year that we had some good team time trial capabilities, and knowing that there's a team time trial to start with, why not push the dream and saying, wow, being pink in Ireland, that'd be something amazing.
Presumably one of the questions about doing it is that Alberto has said he wants to target the Tour and the Vuelta next year, and you've been one of the strongest guys in the team to be backup for him. Is that the case?
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really thought about it, because then I could also have done like Roman did in the Tour, being a backup and still manage to pull a top 5. So honestly, at this stage, like I said, I tried to bring the subject up, and we said, all right, let's close 2013. There's still guys racing, and let's have a quiet talk in November. We all think about it in our 3 weeks or 4 weeks of a little break, and discuss the plus and the minus of it, and then build a plan and stick to it.
I mean, presuming one possible compromise would be to do 10 days, say, of the Giro and then back off for the Tour.
That would be a compromise. I'm not sure my head would accept that. At the moment, I think I've done 11 Grand Tours and I haven't abandoned one. I do agree that it would be the most reasonable solution if I want to be fit for the Tour. But then why not do something different and do Giro Vuelta or Giro Tour, but doing both of them flat out, bearing in mind that it looks like my second Grand Tour is always the better one when I do Tour and Vuelta. So why not work it that way? There's a lot of that's why it's taking me 4 weeks to think about it, because there's a lot of different little information that I want to gather up. And if I go to the Giro, I have to know, why do I go to the Giro? Do I go to the Giro just because it's in Ireland, or do I go to the Giro to perform regardless if it's in Ireland or not? So there's a lot of little details, or both. Go to the Giro because it's in Ireland and to perform. So there's a lot of different options that I have to think about with the team.
We've talked generalities because you don't know your programme yet, but I mean, what would you like to achieve next year in terms of victories in one-day races, or what's on your mind?
Yeah, that's one thing that I'm missing now. I think to complete my kind of palmarès, I'm missing a big one-day result. I've only won stages on stage races at the moment, apart from the national championships. So I'm missing a one-day event, a classic or a semi-classic, and I think that would be really important. And I think if I do go to the Tour, I would also love a stage of the Tour. I've been so close so many times, but always too far. So I think a stage on the Tour would be something that I would love to get. And obviously I would like to get to concentrate again on the top GC results on one of them.
If we take him in, as I said, you're going to be riding for Alberto. If we take Alberto out of the equation and just look maybe a little further ahead if necessary, but do you believe podium Vuelta, podium Tours, is that within your possibilities in the years ahead?
Why not? I think the podium in the Tour is 2 steps ahead. I think, like I said, I like to take it like top 15, then break it down, top 10, top 5, and now work on the podium. But there's a big gap between top 5 and the podium, even though there's only 2 guys in the middle. But there's actually a huge gap again, and it would be great to aim for a podium on the Giro or the Vuelta, probably the Vuelta, which is the one that at the moment has suited me the best. But it's true that why start the Tour if you don't dream about having a podium on it? I don't think it would. It's like going to the World Cup and not thinking you're gonna win it. Either regardless if you're Brazil or whatever smaller football country. I think everyone that goes to the Tour dreams of winning a stage, and why not having the opportunity of wearing the yellow jersey, and why not again being on the podium and dreaming of winning it? I think it's the best event in the world, and I think it deserves to have that dream.
There's also another tough course for the Worlds next year. Is that also going to be a goal for you, to try and get a medal in the Worlds?
Yeah, the Worlds at the moment, I've had a poor record of in the Worlds. I was always been a few times around that kind of 18th, 20th place, and I was lacking on that last lap. This year I even crashed out, so that didn't help for my statistics. But I think the Worlds is I'm not a specialist of the Worlds, so I prepare for whatever I have to prepare, and I hope that I'm in good condition for the Worlds. I think it'd be very yeah, it'd be pushing too much to say, oh, next year I want to prepare for the Worlds because it's hard. One, because I've never done it, so I don't know if I'm capable of doing it to prepare for that specific race at that time of the year. And two, because like I said, I prepare for the Vuelta, the Tour, whatever race, and I know how to prepare for a stage race, and it's a very, very different thing. So I'll stay more to what I kind of know better, rather than saying, oh, next year I'm just planning everything on the Worlds.
Finally, Irish cycling, it's obviously on the up. You got yourself and Dan Martin as world class riders. You've got Matt Bramier, who's been riding solidly. Philip Duyton has been coming back to form this year, and we'll be with Team Sky next year. And Sam Bennett has got a contract. Martin Irvine also has a contract. So, where do you see the future for Irish cycling? Do you think it's on the rise again?
Definitely. I definitely think that over the last 3 years, I've seen a great difference in how people in Ireland see cycling, and like I said, that little buzz that's coming back, and it's great to see how the kids start speaking about cycling again. I think that's one of the most important things for the brightness of the sport. Is, you know, our generation we all loved because we were and we've been through, but it's a new generation. When you look at those 10-year-olds that are talking about cycling again, it was really nice. Like this morning when I was at the bike shop this morning, there was kids that were out of school to come and say hello to me, and that was an amazing feeling. And I think if you have that, then you know that the sport is growing again. And then maybe in a couple of years, instead of having 5 of us, which was already not a record, but I mean it's amazing to have the 5 of us at the top level. Maybe we could have 7, 8, or 10. So I think it's great that people have someone that they can assimilate to and defend or cheer on, and it gives them that also a little motivation for or hope for themselves in the next few years.